Okay, new section, but it's going to relate to the last one. We're dealing with word problems that have to do with systems of equations. So with each word problem, we're going to have to come up with two equations and then determine what x and y are. Okay? For this first problem, I'm going to use red to relate one variable and blue to relate the other variable. All right, here it is. DVDs are on sale for $12 each. CDs are on sale for $10 each. You spent $136 and bought 12 items. How many DVDs and how many CDs did you buy? So we have DVDs that are $12 each, and we have CDs that are $10 each. Oops, I said I was going to use different colors. You spent $136 and bought 12 items. How many DVDs and how many CDs did you buy? Well, DVDs, CDs. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to come up with two equations to figure this out. The first equation has to do with money. So we have our money here. Okay, and you notice there's money here and there's money here. Okay, we can determine CDs and DVDs with the money that's spent. The other equation has to do with items. Okay, we have items. All right, and our items in this case are DVDs and CDs. Okay, now the variables we used in the previous section were x and y. All right, and here we have two variables, DVDs and CDs. So here's DVDs. It's the first thing that is talked about. So we're going to call that x. And then we're going to call CDs y. Okay, how many did we buy? Well, we bought 12. Okay, so with DVDs and CDs, we bought 12 of those. So it's DVDs plus CDs equals 12. Those are the amount of items we bought. We don't know how many DVDs we bought, so that's x. We don't know how many CDs we bought, that's y. But together we know that it was 12. All right. Now we have this variable of money here. Okay. The DVDs are $12 each. The CDs are $10 each. In total, it's $136. Well, if we knew how many DVDs we bought, it'd be 12 times whatever. Okay, so what we're going to do is it's going to be 12 times the amount of DVDs, because each DVD is worth $12, plus 10 times y, 10 times the amount of CDs we bought, and that's going to equal the amount of money we spent, 136. Alright, now we have two systems, we have two equations based off of all this material that we had in the word problem. How do we solve this? Well, now we're into the algebra portion, which we learned in the previous unit. Okay, what can I do? Well, they're both in standard form. X and y are on the same side. Okay, x and y are on the same side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to eliminate either x or y. Okay, so if I look at the first problem, I have x plus y equals 12. I'm going to change that so that one of them is either negative 12x or negative 10y. I'm going to multiply the first equation by negative 10 because it's smaller than 12 in hopes to eliminate the y's. So I get negative 10x minus 10y equals negative 120. The bottom equation stays the same. And we can eliminate the y's. Negative 10 plus negative 10x plus 12x equals 2x. Negative 120 plus 136 is 16. And we get an answer of 8. x equals 8. Okay. Now what do? We take that 8 and we plug it in for x in one of the equations. Alright, I like this first equation because x is by itself. So x plus y equals 12, or 8 plus y equals 12. And you guys probably figured it out already. Y equals 4. Okay. Now, we want to know how many DVDs and how many CDs did we buy. Well, we said that X was DVDs, so we bought, or you bought, because it's you. I bought 8 DVDs and I'm losing my writing here. Okay, and how many CDs? Well, CDs right here. CDs was Y. Okay, so I bought 4 CDs. Okay, do we have to write it as a ordered pair? Do you have to write it like 8-4? No, because we want to know when they're equal, but more importantly, we want to know how many CDs and DVDs we bought. Okay. Okay, had a little problem with number 2. Let's check out number 3. Skip number 2, draw a big cross through it. Look at number 3. A collection of 26 nickels and dimes has a value of $1.60. How many nickels and how many dimes are there? Alright, this one's similar to the first problem, okay, but now we're dealing with nickels and dimes. Alright, these are our variables. So let's make 2 equations. Alright, we know that there's a total of 26 nickels and dimes together. So there's 26 total. Alright, we're going to say that X is nickels and Y is dimes. Alright, you could change that up if you want to, but don't change it up in one equation but not the other. Alright, so nickels plus dimes equals 26. Alright, now we have a value of $1.60. How many nickels and how many dimes are there? Well, how much is a nickel? A nickel is 5 cents. And if we were going to write 5 cents out mathematically, it is 0.05. Okay, same with dimes. The dime is 10 cents. This is X and this is Y. And if we were going to write that out, that's 0.1 or 0.10. Okay, let's leave that 0 in to show that it's a dime. Okay? So we have 0.05 X, alright, because of 5 cents for every nickel plus 10 cents for every dime will equal how much? $1.60. Don't need the dollar sign, but I wrote it there anyways. Okay, now we have to figure this out. Change the first equation like we did in the last problem. We're going to multiply this first equation by, now let's eliminate X this time, negative 0.05. Okay, because that's positive 0.05. So if I multiply X by negative 0.05, they're going to be opposites. But I have to do the same to everything in that equation. Alright, so I get negative 0.05x plus, minus 0.05y equals, 26 times 0.05. Let me take out my calculator. (26) times 0.05 equals 1.3. So negative 0.05 times 26 is negative 1.3. Alright, rewrite the other equation. Alright, the x's are eliminated. Negative 0.505 plus 0.10 equals 0.05. negative 1.3 plus 1.6 or 1.60 is 0.3. Okay, now we're going to solve for, or 0.30. Now we're going to solve for y. Feel free to use your calculator. 0.05 divided by 0.05 is 1. We get y equals 0.30 divided by 0.05 is 6. Alright, so y equals 6. Alright, take that number, plug it into one of the equations. We have x plus y equals 26. We know that y is 6. So x is 20. Okay? Now again, we don't have to write it as an ordered pair. We just have to say there are 20 nickels and 6 dimes. Last slide. Mr. Smith gave a quiz that was worth 50 points and had a total of 26 questions. 50 points, 26 questions. Each question was worth 1 point or 5 points. Worth 1 point or 5 points. There was no partial credit. How many 1 point and how many 4 point? That should be 5. Another typo. How many 5 point questions were there on the quiz? Alright, let's check this out. So, quiz that's worth 50 points has a total of 26 questions. Okay, so there's 1 point and 5 point questions. And we have to figure out how many 1 point and how many 5 point questions there are. So x plus y, 1 point questions plus 5 point questions equals how many questions? How much are 1 point questions worth? Well, 1 point. Alright, so you can put 1x, but you really don't need to. Oops. And how many points are 5 point questions worth? Well, 5 points. 5 times the 5 point questions equals a total of how many points? 50. Okay, let's do this one out similar to the last few. I'm going to multiply this one by negative 1. Why? Because if I make this a negative 1x, then it can be eliminated by positive 1x. Negative 1x plus y equals 26. Sorry. Remember, it's negative, so a negative times a positive is negative. Rewrite the other problem underneath. Cancel out the x's. You get 4y equals 24. Divide both sides by 4. Y equals 6. Take one of your original equations. Plug in 6 for y. And we get that same answer again. X equals 20. So there are 20. There are 20 1 point questions. And 6 5 point questions. Okay. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask.